Hello everyone, today's topic is neuron or nervous system. The fundamental unit of nervous system is the nerve cell or neuron. Camillo Golgi proposed reticular theory. According to this, the nervous system was a synaptial reticulum. The neuron theory, according to this concept, the nervous system is composed of individual cells or neurons. These are discrete and separate entities and are functional units of nervous system. The neuron doctrine was finally supported by the electron microscope, which observed that neurons, like most other cells, were bounded by a unit membrane whose presence prevented cytoplasmic continuity between adjoining cells of the nervous system. The gap separating neurons is small, it is about 75 to 400 angstrom wide. Neuron consists of cell body, the perikaryon or soma, the associated processes that rises from it. First, the nervous cell body or perikaryon or soma. It is a irregular shaped structure in the center of which lies a spherical nucleus with nucleolus and fine chromatin granules, but there is no centriole. That is why the mature neuron cannot divide. Some other typical cells organelles also contained in the cytoplasm of the cell body or soma. These are nissel bodies composed of ribonuclear proteins and are thought to be responsible for the synthesis of protein, possibly the enzyme concerned with the acetylcholine synthesis. The cytoplasm of soma contains endoplasmic reticulum with cisternae, ribosomes, mitochondria, and Golgi complex. Second portion is the nervous processes. The neuron bears dendrites, axon, and collateral. Dendrites, the branches coming out soma of the neuron, these further have numerous branches and by which they contact the processes or projections of other cells. Dendrites carry impulses towards the cell body. The functional junction between the dendrites region of one neuron and the axon ending of another neuron is the synapse. The projection of greater length than the dendrites coming out from the cell body of the neuron is known as axon. It is single and sometimes branched. Its end called telodendroid make connection with other neurons or with effector cells. The protoplasm of axon is called exoplasm and it may contain mitochondria. In addition to the plasma membrane, the axon is covered over by a myelin or medullary sheet. Outside the myelin sheet, there is a covering known as neurolemma or sheet of Schwann. The sheet is composed of non-living lipid and protein formed by the Schwann cells. It broken up at regular intervals by means of constrictions, the nodes of Rennewehr. The region between two nodes is known as the internode. Most of axon of the neuron carry impulses away from the cell body. Collaterals, in some neurons, the axon bears some side branches. These are termed as collaterals. Neurons can also be classified on the basis of cell processes emerged from the cell body, unipolar neurons. In this type of neurons, only one axon, often with the dendrites or collateral processes, take its origin from the cell body. This type of neurons found within the posterior roots of spinal nerves and in the roots of certain cranial nerves such as the trigeminal, glossopharyngeal, and the vagus nerves. Bipolar neurons, the neurons in which two processes take their origin from the cell body, one on either side of the cell body, are known as bipolar neurons. Out of these two processes, one may be dendrites and other may be axon. Multipolar neurons, in this type of neuron category, have a large number of cell processes, at least one of which is an axon. Satellite cells. The satellites or neurological cells are found around the neurons. These cells influence nervous activities and play important role in repairing injured neurons. Synapse. The functional junction between the dendrites of one neuron and the axon of another neuron is commonly called synapse. Functions of synapse. It transmits impulses from one neuron to other neuron or cells. It can transmit impulses only one direction. It is very vulnerable to the action of many chemical compounds. The physiological difference between axon and dendrites are dendrites usually converts external environmental stimuli and stimuli from other nerve cells into nerve impulses. The dendrites usually carry stimuli towards the cell body to the axon region, while axon carry impulses from the axon origin to their own distal tip. Second difference between axon and dendrites is that the dendrites usually carry stimuli towards the cell body to the axon origin, while axon carry impulses from the axon origin to their own distal tips. Morphological types of neurons on the basis of presence or absence of myelin sheath. Neurons are categorized in two categories, one with myelin sheath called modulated neurons and other without myelin sheath called non-modulated sheath. Physiological or functional type of neurons. On the basis of functional properties, neurons may be efferent, and neurosecretory. Efferent neurons, those neurons which carry sensory information in the form of nerve impulses from the periphery of the body to more centrally located nervous element. These neurons are also known as sensory neurons as they carry sensory information. Efferent neurons, those which carry impulses from the central nervous system to effector organs such as muscles and glands. These are also known as motor neurons. Neurosecretory neurons, those which produce neurohormone. They may also function independently as unit for transmission of impulsion within the nervous system, but the distal portion of the axon always lies adjacent to the blood stream. Thank you for watching video.